not to be a doomer, but the society is kind of disintegrating, and I don't mean it in a way that oh the world is ending, the planet is dying, and we're doomed, and that kind of pessimistic talk. I mean that we are kind of losing our traditional sense of humanness and our sense of community, and these are closely related. And I think the main culprit is, of course, like globalization, westernization. Um, I can throw around a bunch of terms, but I don't want to do that. I like to talk in very simple terms. Deluded into thinking that we have to put ourselves first and think for ourselves because we can't function together because that's how life works, and that is a very big propaganda we're actively falling for, because we are social beings. That's undeniable, and like no matter, but we cannot progress past that. In fact, the only way we can, in fact, progress in a healthy way, in an efficient way, is through community work. And our modern day human life is not very um, efficient and satisfying to them in my mind, because like very few people are actually like fully happy, and they have to like sit under a fig tree and become Buddha to achieve that. Like that's very high stakes. But I feel like it should be easier. I feel like there's a lot of us, there's like billions of us. And like we're kind of intelligent beings, like we're manipulating the entire planet. We're like playing a significant role in the climate change, manipulating the evolution. So I feel like if we don't have solutions for certain very simple looking problems, it's kind of that we're not looking for them. We're not really trying to um, actually resolve those problems, including poverty, including loneliness. I don't know, including general disappointment, unhappiness. The interesting part for me is that that is never kept secret. It's not like they are trying to ban these words like in those dystopian books and movies, like certain words are just not allowed. In capitalism, everything is allowed. The idea is pushed, but it's intervened in actions. Because everybody's talking about being kind, everybody's talking about being empathetic, but for some reason we're growing less and less empathetic and understanding towards each other, and like the same people who are preaching emotional intelligence and kindness and um community are they're also pushing selfishness. They're also like very contradicting, because let me tell you the biggest problem. Now, I believe there are a lot of intelligent people, and like when we think that we need intelligence to solve big world issues, we're actually kind of underestimating the intelligence of an average person. An average person is capable of doing a lot of work, making use of that. Like I have always been a firm believer that a great chunk of intelligence is able to be manipulated and chiseled if you actually put in the work. I've always believed that a lot of things in this life are dependent on human effort. And we are refusing to put in the effort, and we're just so comfortable in thinking that the situation is desperate and falling towards this huge abyss, which is just not true. I don't like irrelevant negativity and people who spread negativity. If you are able to do that, please stay positive. Like if you don't have an active mental condition preventing you from doing so, please stay positive and spread positivity and like be useful. A lot of our problems, whether it be in terms of a society, in terms of collective, or in our personal lives, are because we are just not bothered enough, and we kind of need to fix that. I don't know how we can like achieve this collective awakening, but yeah, if you take a day, have you ever done that? Like, take any problem that is what really bothering you, and take one day off and just think about that problem. Put all the distractions away and think about that problem. Just, I don't know, draw a diagram, think about it, write stuff down, or research it without getting too distracted. And you're actually gonna find out some interesting stuff, whether it be in your mind or outside of your mind. Now, imagining people actually collaborating, imagine people actually discussing problems and like getting past their ego to achieve a common benefit, I guess. And why doesn't that happen? Because we don't listen to each other. Because we're impatient. We are impatient with ourselves and we're impatient with each other. That's the root cause of like a lot of bigotry. That's the root cause of a lot of um hate that's circulating, and a lot of the harm that's actively being done to people and communities because we're impatient with each other. It's like if you try to have a conversation with someone about something that they have very um sharp, definitive like takes on, if you actually manage to get them to think about a lot of things, you would be surprised how little it actually takes people to question things that they believe in, that they've believed their whole lives. And then their minds can change if they don't actively resist it for some reason, of course. And like, give people a hearing. If you are the judge, be just, be a fair one, and like listen to people. Even if you're convinced that you know better, you objectively know better, just to play fair, listen to people. Because chances are you're not always right. And everybody is convinced that they're right. And I'm also guilty of that too. In fact, I am speaking uh, on experience. I used to think that, and I was doing it unconsciously. Every time somebody complained about something, I would try to come up with a solution on the spot and like try to tell them something. And then like it occurred to me really late, which is very embarrassing. I was like, wait, why am I trying to tell people something? Like they're not necessarily asking. Sometimes they're just complaining. Sometimes they don't even need, like there's not even need for advice. Like, is my advice always useful? It's not to say, uh, keep it to yourself. Don't try to like guide each other. That's the opposite of what I'm trying to say. But don't do that without, like, don't do that on autopilot because you're actually not listening. When you actually listen to someone, like, actually listen to a human being talk, actually get into, get a peek into somebody's brain, inside somebody's brain. It's a phenomenal experience. It doesn't matter how intelligent or interesting that person is, whatever that means. And I hate to say that, but it all boils down to him. It all boils down to just putting in the effort and doing it despite being the only person that's trying. Because it's very inspiring. Like, somebody's gonna see it. You're not gonna see the immediate effects, but that's not the point. The point is what you're actually doing and what you're actually fine with. And again, you're making active decisions. I hate that kind of person that just won't stop giving advice. Like, there's a lot of internet profiles that's just where this is the whole content, advice. And it always irritates me. Like, I look at them like, who are you? If you're not an actual expert on a profession, please shut the up. And I don't care how experienced you are as a person in life, or you've like had some phenomenal level of personal development, you're kind of you're very conceited, and it's very irritating. And I feel like you don't listen to people, or you have a superiority complex and you think you have to teach people, you are the savior. Now there's a nuance. We are each other's saviors, but no single person is a collective's savior, because you're nothing without a community. You are nothing without people that are to come save you. Take our times and observe the world and each other. That's the only way to build tolerance. And like, just stop. Like, stop rushing. Like, I understand some of ours lives are really difficult. Some of us don't really have time to even think about a lot of things. But whenever you can, please do take your time and think about what works. Stop thinking about the rules of things, rules of games, what should work, and focus on what actually works. And think about why things aren't actually working. And be patient with what's failing the system. That's also very paradoxical sounding statement. But be patient, observe it, and tame it instead of trying to destroy it. Unless we're at the very edge of destruction itself shouldn't be our way of achieving the desired result. And it's very unsustainable way of fighting. And it's very contradicting on my part because I'm actively giving advice right now. But I'm kind of talking to myself because we're all flawed. So that's basically how I see things.